What's going on, y'all? All right, so what is it? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Let me turn that off. It's really, really bright. Y'all want that? Isn't that super bright? Anyway, man, I've been checking something out that I wanted to share with y'all. In relationship to mental health. All right. Obviously, let me get this out of the way here. Obviously, mental health is a concern. Mental health is a concern for people. And so I found some really interesting statistics today that I want to share with you guys. So shout out to everybody who's watching on YouTube. You can feel free to make a comment if you want to. I would love to chit chat with you, but this is just a weekday check-in about mental health. So here's what I found. Check this out. Here's what I found. Here's what I discovered that I think you're going to appreciate. All right. This is an article that I read about mental health stats. This was published in March of 2023. So it's fairly recent, but it talks about mental health in the United States. And so this is an article written in Forbes magazine about mental health that I think is interesting, because I tell people, like I've said before, the backlash of COVID, like we haven't seen yet. In other words, as a result of COVID, there are going to be a lot of different sort of, I hate to use the phrase backlash, but we're going to see a lot of different outcomes mental health wise from COVID. And I think, what does this say? Stop because of an error. Do you want to continue without words change? Yes. All right. I don't know what happened there, but okay. Anyway, Facebook is acting weird on me. So, but everybody on YouTube and my regular Facebook page, hello. I figure out why it stopped on my private page. But anywho, I talked about how COVID has had, the backlash of COVID on families would be astronomical, right? So, and even though this brief conversation, really, really brief, probably about 15 minutes, 10, 15, maybe 12 minutes tops, and this is a check-in. The backlash is going to be that we're going to see mental health crises that spring up as a result of COVID. Not only did I say that, I didn't, and by the way, when I say it, I didn't say it as if everyone else. Let me fix something here. Y'all know I'm not OCD, but I do like to have things in order. So let me change that because my head is like hitting the top of the thing. Sorry about that. But there is something to be said about the impact that COVID, the post-COVID. When I say post-COVID, I mean after we've gotten over the large hurdle of COVID, right? So I think all of you would agree with me when you say that we are bouncing toward a post-COVID stage in America in particular. I can only speak for I can only speak for America in particular. But here's an article that I think is interesting that that I want to share with y'all. Okay. This is mental health stats. Look at these mental health stats. All right. This is really interesting. I hope y'all can see that. All right. Mental health stats at a glance. Okay. This is at a glance. 21% of U.S. adults are experiencing mental health conditions this was in 2022. Let me see if I got another community I'm trying to bring in here, y'all. Sorry about that. So check that out. And let's see, let's see here, mental health. See if I can fix this here. Boom, boom. Sorry, y'all just hold on, right? Appreciate y'all's patience. Hello to everyone. Y'all just hold on. I'm pulling up another community here. Who's going to join the conversation? Because I think this is I've been thinking about this all week. Let's see if this worked. All right. I've been thinking about this all week. There we go. We got the other community in. All right. Everybody on the Wisdom app, what's going on? Hello, this is your man, Lionel. Great to have you. Everybody on YouTube, check these stats out. Okay. Again, we're having a conversation about the mental health issues that we're experiencing post COVID. That's what this conversation is about. Have an article here that was published in Forbes Health, talks about the mental health stats. Here's what it says. 20% of American adults experienced mental health conditions in 2020. Y'all know that was in the heat of the COVID crisis. 5.6 of U.S. adults experienced serious mental health conditions in 2020, which often is defined as psychotropic disorder, bipolar, severe anxiety, and eating disorder, etc. Check this out. In 2023, 32.1% of American adults experienced mental health conditions and substance abuse. This is the problem. Okay. Check this out. In 2020, as of 2020, suicide is the y'all listen to this. Listen to this. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for U.S. children ages 10 to 14, preceded only by unintentional injury. Let me read that again. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for U.S. children ages 10 to 14. We got babies at 10 years old deciding to end their life. For you guys who are on Wisdom app, please feel free to come on through. Just hit the talk button and we'll bring you into. We are live on Wednesday night on Facebook and on YouTube. So just be aware, if you want to come into the audio conversation, not the video, but the audio conversation, then people across those platforms will also hear your voice. They won't know your name, but they'll hear your voice. Also, my YouTube family, feel free to make a comment. I can see your comments below. I want to talk about this. Okay. The impact of depression and anxiety has a global economic can be measured in 1 trillion in lost productivity each year. This is mental health we're talking about. All right. In 2020, 51.2% of American females received mental health services, while 37.4% of males received mental health services in 2020. Check this one out. This is a big one. Young adults ages 18 to 25 in the U.S. have the highest rate of experiencing mental health concerns. 30.6% compared to adults ages 26 to 49. And the highest rate of serious mental illness, 9.7%. This one hits close to home. Females are diagnosed with serious mental health conditions at higher rates, 4.2%. And the percentage of U.S. adults receiving mental health treatment rose 19.2% in 2019 to 21.66 in 2021. What are we saying? I noticed this as a chaplain. And hey, how you doing, TF? How you doing, man? Let me stop and say hello to everybody. TF, Pretlow, my family. Blessings, cuz. Good to hear from you, man. Good to see you. I see you out there in Facebook land. Yeah, please feel free to make a comment if something speaks to you. Hey, you know what I wonder? TF, are your church members experiencing mental health issues, mental health crises? I want to know that. Right? I don't know. I said that because I don't know anyone in your church, but I really want to get a gauge of how pastors are dealing with this mental health issue in churches. I want to know how preachers and pastors in churches are dealing with the mental health crisis that we're going through. Right now, so brother, if you feel free to make a comment, would love to hear from you. Okay. So traditionally, I'll say this, and traditionally in the church, I was taught that Jesus could fix it all. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin has lost its crimson stain. He washed you white. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was taught. That Jesus could fix it all. Can I get a witness out there? But then I learned that, yes, there is a level of truth that the soul goes through existential angst. The soul goes through existential angst, right? And that existential angst causes us to have mental problems. But in the Black church in particular, what we did historically to deal with that issue is that we would go up for church prayer and getting the demon cast out of us. Right. And I'm saying that tongue in cheek because I know people are like, what are you talking about? But no, there is great evidence out there from some of the prominent African-American theologians and pastors who would tell you, and my mind is going to Bishop Noel Jones right now, that he preaches, what do you call it? It's a combination of psychology and theology. He has a name for it. It's not coming to me, but he often quoted Paul Tillich, a great theologian that talked about the psychology of spirituality and theology. Right. And so there is no bones about the fact that in an African-American religious community, and I would say beyond that, I'm going to take a risk of faith and say even in other religious communities that white, Black, Hispanic, Asian, right? People go to prayer. The whole process of prayer is also doing internal psychological and spiritual work. Psychological and spiritual work. Let's see, my man. Let's see if I can pull that. Can y'all see that? Pastor Predlow said, family, he said, absolutely, the church is made up of people in the community. Our pastor thought it prudent to include mental health counseling. Brother, you are right about that, right? That you have to include mental health as part of the spiritual process. And I'm wondering how many people in churches, you know what I wonder? Kiev, brother, I wonder how many people in their church has experienced their pastor talking about mental health. Ooh. What? Y'all know I have a sense of humor, right? I wonder if pastors are coupling spiritual health with mental health. And I'm sure that there are schools of thought out there that's dealing with that. TF, I want to, man, I don't want to bring your brother into it because he all famous and so forth and so on. But, you know, I would ask him sometimes, ask Rev, say, hey, man, do you ever talk about mental health in your sermon? I know your father, my uncle, Harold, man, it's so funny. We have so many ministers and preachers in my family. It's ridiculous. Who else? What is stopping now? Streaming to Facebook stopped because of the error. What is going? Hello, y'all. Golly, this is crazy. Oh my goodness.